Moderna says they have a COVID-19 shot that works in kids under 6, and they're planning to ask the FDA to approve it. This will be the first vaccine against the virus for children in that age group. We asked our Abby Larico to verify the process it takes to give shots to kids. Abby, what'd you find out?
Well, it takes a lot more than a drug company talking a big game to approve vaccines with our little ones. It's actually quite a process. So let's verify, what does it actually take to get vaccines approved for kids? Our sources are Dr. Alexandra Yance, an infectious disease specialist with Children's National Hospital, the CDC, the FDA, and Pfizer and Moderna. With any new vaccine, the FDA looks at the data to determine if a shot is safe and effective, and the CDC decides whether or not to recommend it. In most vaccines, including those against COVID-19, this all happens first with a study of adults. Pfizer says its trial currently includes about 8,300 children between 6 months and 12 years old. Moderna's site lists 13,275 participants in the same age group for their study. Those are a fraction of the size of each company's clinical trial in adults.
Trials are usually not as large because efficacy has been established and there's no thought that it should be different.
Since adult studies establish vaccine safety, kids' trials determine how much vaccine is needed to be effective.
As we've learned, dosing matters.
Because a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old are very different developmentally, it's up to researchers to determine the lowest amount of vaccine that can be given to kids of different ages that'll still work. After a shot at proper dosage is greenlit, the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices puts it on the official American vaccine schedule, laying out what vaccines are needed at what ages. Currently, kids older than 5 are still on an interim vaccine schedule for the COVID-19 shots.
Very well could end up being something that gets on the, annual schedule, at least, like an influenza vaccine. Or if we see after a year or two that really SARS-CoV-2 isn't going anywhere, there is potential for it to be a addition to the regular childhood vaccine process. But that, I think, data is still kind of coming in.
All right, Abby, let me ask you this, because a lot of people still wonder about the long-term impacts of the vaccine.
Right, Tony. Well, Dr. Yance reminds us that the way this vaccine works, if there are going to be widespread effects, we would know about them by now. They do not take years to show up, but still, trial participants will be monitored for decades to come.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Decades. They're still monitoring some people who were in vaccine trials in the early 2000s.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Thank you very much, Abby.